checking we're on air. Great, thank you. Well, welcome to the first council meeting of 2024. About to say 2023, but heads move. So I'll just start off with a Karakia. Me anō tātou, e te atua tēnei au, tēnei mātou, au mema kua pauti te hapore o Whanganui. Arahina I a mātou ki te whakatau nā whakataunga pai mō te rohi mō nā tangata katoa kia piki ai te ora o te hapore me nā iwi katoa o Whanganui, homie, hui taiki. Let us pray, dear God, here I am. Here we are, your elected members of Whanganui. Guide us to make good decisions for the district, for all our people, to uplift the community and all peoples of Whanganui, bring forth unity. It is done. And welcome to Councillor Kate Joblin, who I think is online. I hope she's online. As far as apologies go, we have an apology from Councillor Charlie Anderson. And I think that is it. All those in favour? Again, I don't need to do it for that. No. Just a mover and a seconder, sorry. Yeah. Josh, thank you, and Councillor Philippa, seconder. All those in favour? Against? Motion's carried. Leave of absence request, item number 3, leave of absence request from Deputy Mayor Helen Craig. I'll move that. Do I have a seconder? Okay, Councillor Peter. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Great.
Just a question, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, Councillor Kate.
The leave of absence is for a period of...
It was up on the screen, sorry. 12th of March to the 1st of May 2024, so approximately 6 weeks.
Thank you.
Yes. Declarations of interest. Are there any declarations of interest? Councillor Josh.
Thanks, Mayor Andrew. Just 11.1 in the confidential section, the Whanganui Resource Recovery Centre.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, so next item is the Mayoral Message. So this is really just what's on top of mind for me, and it's just as much for this room, but also in particular for the community and those that wish to hear that. So it's got a bit of philosophy in it, so hang in there, or philosophers. And starting with Confucius, actually, who said that it does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. And since 8th of October 2022, this council has not stopped, and we have also not been going slowly. We've arrived into this triennium knowing that we have faced a once-in-a-generation challenge across many fronts, including legislative change, which, if enacted, would dilute local government. Economic storms brewing, which we are bearing the brunt of right now. Social division, where we've seen friends and families divided. Geopolitical unrest. A post-COVID stumbling recovery. A massive increase in delinquency in schools. Very long waiting times in hospitals. A worsening law and order in society. Increased homelessness and even potholes, and so the list goes on. It's a pretty brutal time to be a decision maker in local government and central government. But all of these above that I mentioned are global issues and New Zealand-wide issues as well, and we are navigating this council ship in these times. Our job since October 2022 is to make decisions for our community which improve all of our lives now as well as the lives of our future generations in our community. It means difficult decisions in difficult times. Now to another great philosopher, Pythagoras, who said that the oldest, shortest words, yes and no, are those which require the most thought. The two words go hand in hand with the decision, and this is in essence what we do as your elected members. We are always faced with seeking to make the world, in our case, Whanganui, a better place, both economically but also socially. So in that moment before the yes or no, we need to ensure that we individually and collectively have enough information to make a decision, to develop an opinion, you might say. I believe we are the best, or we are one of the best councils around the table in the country. We are a cohesive, diverse and constructive council, and I believe we are well equipped to make decisions for our community. And now to Democritus, who said that nothing exists except atoms and empty space, everything else is opinion. And we have many opinions around the council table, which is both democracy and diversity at play all in one, a great symphony. We're now 70 weeks and 3 days into this triennium and have 86 weeks and 1 day until 8 of October 2025, or whenever the election day is. Whilst we as governors are focused on the future of our district, it does no harm to look back at what we have achieved and learned along the way, as well as look forward as responsible stewards of our future with bold aspirations even during these times. In the last 70 weeks, our council, both elected members and council officers, have achieved much in the face of complexity and constraints not seen in recent history. And I once again thank you for all your diligence and hard work. Looking back from a personal perspective, I campaigned on 5 broad areas, the first being against the introduction of what became affordable water legislation, aka 3 waters, as did many other elected members around the table. Just yesterday it was announced that this legislation would be repealed and is to be replaced by 2 new laws. We have been advocates of reform of 3 waters, but only where we have control and ownership of our water assets. From our discussions with the coalition government, we are confident that our good fight has been successful, and we also await legislation changes with the RMA. The second area I campaigned on, and our elected members have come on board as well, is that of a more streamlined, visible and transparent council. As a result, we have found $2.5 million of savings at the start of the triennium, and with the countrywide funding and financing challenges all councils are facing, we have sought to find further efficiencies and savings via a 6-point plan, which are around increasing revenue, alternative funding, finding efficiencies, investing to save, reducing services and selling assets. The reality is that compared to previous years, we are now in a high rates environment and seeing that right across the country, with many councils facing first year long-term plan rate increases well into the teens and some struggling to get below 20%. However, with our 6-point plan and with responsible debt levels and good investment in our infrastructure, including water infrastructure, our council is comparatively well positioned to weather these times, albeit we acknowledge the pressure many households are facing right now. As a council, we are also faced with pressures which I have summarised as the 3 I's: insurance increases, high and sticky inflation, and high interest costs. These will be with us for at least the next year or so, and from a council visibility and transparency perspective, a number of people have said that this is the most visible and transparent council ever seen. I believe that is correct. We've increased our communication on print and social media, live stream workshops to the public where we can, and introduced initiatives such as community koreros to take council to the people. We've been upfront about matters of community interest and responsive to queries. The third campaign area was about backing business and jobs, including initiating a strategic business forum, and the fourth area was about better living and housing, which included initiating a strategic social forum. Both forums have been initiated, with more to come. We've also, as a council, sought to address homelessness and have made progress in this area, although it will always be challenging with growing numbers of people who are homeless, which is an increasing area of concern around the country. Indeed, it's actually a global issue, and my rhetoric remains that we, as a council, can only be measured by how we treat our most vulnerable. The council has made progress in other areas, including a city deal in draft form with the new government to realise new and bold initiatives for the next 30 years for our district, covering an economic, social, cultural and environmental focus. We've made good progress with the two projects, Te Puaha and the Sargent Gallery. Investigating a 4-star hotel with good progress being made with operators and developers. The Future for Local Government review to reshape what local government looks like in the future and to face into the very real funding and financing issues councils are facing. Investigating an alternative polytechnic arrangement which better serves our community to build capability and skills both for now and in the future, which is also well advanced. Developing a new vision and strategy for Whanganui District to replace Leading Edge so we have a next wave of growth and aspiration. A considered response to the once every 3 years long-term plan, balancing cost constraints with aspiration, balancing community needs and wishes with household financial pain. Undertaking a governance review and a CCEO review, both of which are currently pending, the latter of which will likely see a tidying up of governance structures and a sharper commercial focus. In addition, we have made decisions big and small to make this district better than when we found it. To add another quote to the mix, Peter Drucker said that the best way to predict the future is to create it. Yes, we need to navigate responsibly and carefully with the cost challenges right now. However, that doesn't prevent us from being bold and ambitious for our future. Storms come and go, and when they do, we need to be ready to grab the future. We also need to retain our identity and hold to what we all love about our district of Whanganui. But we must embrace change. So I finish with 2 quotes from Heraclitus. There is nothing permanent except change, and big results require big ambitions. We are equipped to govern in these times of change and challenge, and at the same time not be afraid to be aspirational and bold. That means as your elected members, we will continue to make decisions to serve our community and lead the direction. I believe we have one of the best group of elected members in the country, as said before, and that is the feedback I've had from others who have got to know us. We also have highly capable council officers to deliver the work to give action to our decision. Let's go. So, thank you. Now we move into item 6, which is the public forum, deputations and petition. We have none. So we'll move to item 7, which is confirmation of the minutes of 13 December 2023. That the minutes of the council meeting held on 13 December 2023 are confirmed as a true and correct record. I see I've got a question from...
Thank you. I just wanted to raise a matter that's 7.11 of these minutes, the homeless update, December 2023. I want to ask it says there in B, notes that this may include relocation of the toilet block and social service provider, the 12 months, and cover any commitment costs from the original proposal. When will we, ask the Chief Executive, when will we be having the update of these actions, and when is that program for?
Through your worship, the reporting on that will continue to come up through the Operations and Performance Committee meeting. I cannot recall the work program off the top of my head, but I believe it is due for not this meeting, but the one after. But I'll double check and confirm for you.
So what you're saying is that it's at least 3 months before we get an update on the homeless situation. Thank you.
Right, thank you. My preference is to move the minutes and then have questions first, but that's okay. We've covered that. So move the minutes that the council meeting held on 13 December 2023 are confirmed as true and correct record. Seconder, Councillor Ross. So thanks for the question, Councillor Rob. So hopefully that's captured. We're looking to capture any comments or questions that need follow-up. So all those in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. So moving to reports to the committee, starting at 8.1, membership update, Rural Community Board. And so Anna's going to take the presenter seat.
Good morning, councillors. This is just a simple decision. Councillor Charlie Anderson has resigned from his position as councillor representative on the community board and has nominated Councillor Ross Fallon to take his place in that role. Any questions?
Questions? No? I didn't expect there to be... Oh, right, you just want to... right, okay. So no further questions. I'll move to... do you have a question? Okay. Councillor Philippa.
Sorry, apologies, just not seeing it in the paper. Am I correct that there's usually 2 councillor positions? Can you just remind us how many councillors are normally on the Whanganui Rural Community Board, and who else is on there at the moment?
2. So we have Councillor Peter Oscom, and we're looking for a vacancy,
right,
which we're suggesting Councillor Ross Fallon.
Yeah, thank you.
Great. All right. So
can I just make a comment?
Yeah, sure. I'll just move to that. So no further questions. Well, I'll move the motion that the council appoints Councillor Ross Fallon to the Whanganui Rural Community Board. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Rob? All right. So, comments? Yeah, David Wells.
Thank you. I've been talking to Charlie and Ross recently, and Charlie was struggling with his other commitments to fulfil his community board role, and I'm very grateful to Ross Fallon for offering to take his place. So thank you, Ross.
All right, great. Thank you. See no further comments, so yeah, I just want to thank Councillor Charlie for his time on the Rural Community Board as well. But welcome another opportunity for Councillor Ross, and thank you for embracing that. Yeah. So no further comments. I'll put the motion on the screen that the council appoints Councillor Ross Fallon to the Whanganui Rural Community Board. All those in favour? Right. Against? Motion is carried. Great. Item 8.2 is the Bignell Street corner with Kings Avenue, and that the council approve the vesting of section 436, right bank Whanganui River, and lot 1 DP 52839 as a road. So we've got Graham Pulgar, who's going to give an overview of this. So Graham.
Thank you, Mr. Troy, and good morning, councillors. Back in the mid-1980s, council realigned Bignell Street so that it came out at a 90-degree angle to Kings Avenue rather than straight through, and was on a very speedy corner. And as part of that process, they stopped a piece of the road from the shops back to covering basically 2/3 of the next section. Since then, that section has been subdivided and is now 4 separate lots. Of those, only one of them has legal road access through there, and a right-of-way was granted back in the early 2020s to get them to be able to cross into that land, across our land. But as a result of that, every time they want to run services through that piece of land, they would have to get an easement. So I spoke to the roading people. They have no issues with it being legal road. They pay for the grounds maintenance or the grass maintenance on it anyway. And Kayanga Ora are looking to develop in that area of land. So the paper that's presented basically talks about why we should revest it as road. Right,
that makes sense to me. So thank you for that. And So, do we have any questions around this or clarification? Is it, it's pretty well explained, so I imagine it's, no? Okay. Okay, thank you. Councillor Josh move and Councillor Jenny to second. So any comments around this item? No? Great. So no further comments. I'll put the motion on the screen that the council approve the vesting of section 436 right bank Whanganui River and lot 1 DP 52839 as road. All those in favour? Against? Motion's carried. Easy. Right, next item is...
Mr Mayor.
Oh, yes. Sorry, did I miss you, Kate?
No, you didn't. I just wanted to pipe up before you move on to the next item. Just for those of members of council that haven't come across Mr Poulger before, he is a veritable mine of information, been at council for a long time. And yeah, like if you want to know anything about property, he's your guy.
So expect to be inundated, Graham. Thanks for that. Yeah, there's certainly institutional knowledge is something that we should honour and make the most of, and Graham's certainly one of those people. He's a familiar face. Great. So now we have a motion to exclude the public. So this is a section where either confidential information by way of commercially sensitive information, or it's or individuals' privacy could be breached. We have a publicly excluded section, and indeed that's where we're heading now. So I'm going to move the motion to exclude the public from the following parts of the proceeding of this meeting, namely items listed on page 28 of the agenda. And I'll move that, and seconder is Councillor Ross. So all those in favour? Against? Oh, I've got a question from Councillor Rob.
Bishop, I want the opportunity to vote against 11.3, long-term plan, non-significant service level reductions, please. Can you put that separately? The reasons are that I believe that all service reductions should be in front of the public. And there are implications for the public in this resolution that should be heard.
Okay,
I understand there are some minor staff issues involved in these 14. If you look through these 14 items, there's minimal impact on staff. And I would like that opportunity to vote against that, please.
Okay, sure. So just in response to that, you've alerted me to this before, and I hold personally that that where there is staff impact, even minor, that I reserve the right to take this into publicly excluded section. But thank you for your voice. So all those. So back to the motion. It's been moved and seconded. So all those in favour? Against? So okay, Councillor Rob. Okay, the motion's carried. Thank you. So moving to